Well, the developer of an artificially intelligent legal assistant claims to be opening the world's first law practice without lawyers in Darwin. The interface, called Ailira, was launched to businesses in February, but from today it will provide help to the general public with wills. The developer, lawyer Adrian Cartland, joins me now from Darwin. Adrian Cartland, thanks very much for your time. Just explain to us how this works, a law firm without lawyers. It's a shop front, isn't it, in a shopping centre south of Darwin, and clients or customers will deal with this software via touch screens.
Correct. So you go in and you chat to Ailira in what would be a familiar looking legal office. But instead of where the lawyer sits, you'll face Ailira, which is a chatbot. And what's unique about her is that not only can you ask her questions, just like Siri, question and response, but so too can she ask questions back from you. And therefore she can give you tailored legal information, create documents, and if need be, get a human involved as well.
So she can call for help from a human?
Absolutely. So we hear constant headlines about how robots are taking over, but it's never like that. Humans and artificial intelligence are symbiotic. We need the two of them together. And there are things such as repetitive tasks, simple things that we can make much more efficient with artificial intelligence. And so therefore we can massively reduce the cost of legal services and bring access to justice to people. But other things such as empathy, contextual reasoning, creativity are best done by humans. And so what's left over for humans is a much more pleasurable and enjoyable job that people are much more willing to pay for.
Are you putting lawyers out of business?
No. See, no lawyer ever did 5 years of a law degree so they could be locked in a dungeon somewhere doing discovery or doing their 1000th lease review. No, instead they're left over doing the things that humans are best engaged with, and instead we can get artificial intelligence to do the things that they don't want to do or they're not very efficient at doing. I mean, humans can get distracted and tired and forgetful, and so with a robot we can do it all the time. And and if I'm doing a will for say $150 compared to a market price 2 or 3 times that at least, that's a huge saving. And when we expand that to many other areas of law, so we've expanded it to business structuring. We'll do domestic violence by the end of the year. We've already demonstrated a prototype for the South Australian government. And we can expand in many other areas, and so we can bring legal services to the people who are least able to afford them.
I was going to say, so this has kicked off in Darwin. Talk to us about the capabilities of Ailira in terms of remote regional areas.
Yes, so we're so used to hearing the latest disruptive tech thing come out in Silicon Valley or London or Sydney or something like this in a big metropolis. But what we really need is for access to justice and for the gains from digital disruption to come to the people who are least able to afford it. So we're in a semi-rural environment, and while everything we do with Ailira can be accessed on ailira.com or through Ailira's Facebook, you can chat with her now and test her out for yourself. But by having a physical shop front, we can enable people to come in and access technology and the gains from technology who otherwise wouldn't be able to. I had someone come in yesterday who had never used a computer in their life. Now, would they have been able to access cut price, highly efficient legal services? No, but in a shop front, mixed with a human, with a human there to guide them through how to use something that they were unfamiliar with, a computer.
So you've got someone there, but they're not a lawyer. Do you think at any stage that these offices, which I presume you intend to expand, are going to simply be unmanned?
I think there are always things that are best done by humans. We will never, we like to conceptualize artificial intelligence as being like another human but made out of silicon, and it's really not like that. It's a bunch of algorithms that do a specific thing really well. But there are other things that humans are much better at and will always be better at. We will never replace humans. Humans will never go out of jobs, but what they do will change. And so here we have decreased the price massively, and as we remember from first-year economics, that leads to a massive increase in quantity demanded. So the people who are coming to our law firm without lawyers are people who wouldn't otherwise access legal services. So for the legal profession, this is, this is hugely beneficial. Like, I've just created 3 new legal jobs for law graduates who wouldn't have otherwise had jobs servicing a market that didn't exist. And so next year, the year after, and so on, there will be a huge explosion of legal jobs.
Well, just on that, I mean, a lot of people are saying that, this would put people out of jobs, that it's hard for legal graduates now to find those jobs. Are you concerned that, these kind of, when it comes to wills and domestic violence, which are often issues that are very complex,
yes,
and are contested in court? I mean, how do you go about when Ailira looks at this? What if it is just too complex, or does it add another element that can actually hold up courts and be contested in courts?
Well, so the idea that robots will entirely replace lawyers is, as I said, terrible. It doesn't exist. There is, people say, I've got the world's first robot lawyer. Simply doesn't exist, and never will. But what we can do is we can have an artificially intelligent legal assistant which assists things. So we can, save money in taking down basic details, triaging, working out basic facts, answering questions, and over time that improves, and you never have to teach an AI twice. Once it's learned it, it doesn't ever forget. Now, of course, things are totally complex. There will always be things that are too difficult for robots, and that's why there will always be jobs for humans. We will always be doing the too hard thing. But so high court cases, I mean, that'll always be determined by humans. But perhaps a lower court judgment that is really repetitive, could we get an artificial intelligence to do that? Could I teach Ailira to do that? Absolutely.
Adrian Cartland, it's fascinating, and thank you very much for explaining it all to us from Darwin. Adrian Cartland there speaking to us from Darwin.